Good morning. Take a look at yesterday and a Mo Salah led win for Liverpool. Could have laid that draw second half, of course. That would have been the ideal angle there. Newcastle still cannot buy a win away from home. English Championship, anything doing there yesterday? Let's have a look. Stoke and Ipswich. Well, it was an obvious lay the draw. Ipswich is second in the league. You thought they'd have taken advantage, but no. 0-0 was a struggle, though. What was seen in some recent matches for both of these sides. So do be careful when you take 0-0s on. 0-0 Stoke and Millwall at home. 2 consecutive 0-0s now for Ipswich. Just could be maybe an injury concern to a striker, that kind of thing. But do take it on second half, as you'll see with Sociedad later on. Southampton did score first, so your possible lay the draw there. Lay the draw here, Coventry and Middlesbrough. And this is your ideal scenario when you're laying the draw. 2-goal haul, second half for one of the sides. 1.29 favourite, 20-minute rule. 1-0, 2-0. That's had to turn 1.3 into about 7, 8-1. Not too shabby, I'm sure you'll agree. English League One, the highlight there for us in the live chat webinar was that Peterborough equaliser. It was slightly risky, it was a top 4 clash, but Peterborough certainly have the form, recent form at that, the ability to come back against Barnsley. I think they cocked it up 2-1 to 2-2 against Barnsley. Came back from a goal down to get an equaliser against Reading, as they deserved. This is an excellent away win against the top 4 side, and it's a second recent 2-3 as well for Derby. So it was there in the cards. Made a nice profit on the +1. Getting involved late on is risky, but you get amply rewarded with far greater odds in the Peterborough +1 market. Very good work there. Desmond Tutu, Reading and Exeter is one I missed out on, as indeed was Forest Green Rovers, who got a 24-1 win last time. Should have laid them. They did score first. But this is an interesting match in that you get an overreaction defensively to being hammered the match before. Very interesting. Sudden lurch towards defensive solidity all of a sudden for this Forest Green side. On to today. And West Ham and Brighton is a tough to read match. 2.45 the favourite. But for me, I'd be favouring West Ham here. But I do note, if there is a shock result, you'll know exactly why. 2.45 the favourite. Coming into this, clean sheet wins against big sides. Brighton only failed to score, and only failed both teams to score against Arsenal. All others, 100%. So possibility of both teams to score arriving today. I would be favouring West Ham on ultra recent form, but Brighton themselves are unbeaten since the 2nd of October. You'll see this big block of text. I'm using Speechmatics. It transcribes what I'm saying. So I hope you can cope with this. It will just allow me to increase the amount of matches I can research without impinging upon my time. So this is nice and quick. Whatever I say is written down. So I would be favouring West Ham here, but I would respect the market. Keeping clean sheets against more accomplished sides than Brighton, as I say there. 11 out of 16 goals scored away have come second half for Brighton. So if they are to score, it's highly likely 46th to 60th minute is the time they really spring out of the traps. Watch out if that's a 1-0 win for West Ham. I would lay any late draw here. West Ham have been scoring 2+ goals recently in each of the last 3 matches. Spanish Primera Liga, this is going old school, the research. I need to get that out of the way. Rayo Vallecano, okay. Only 1 defeat since the 27th of September for Getafe, but a touch of the old Udinese's about them. 6 of those score draws out of 7. 3-3 last match against Atletico Madrid. 3 consecutive home wins. Doesn't impress the market though. 2.3 the favourite. Do pay attention to that. 5-0 at half-time at home for Getafe. Take that on second half. 4 defeats and 6 matches for Rayo Vallecano. Not coming into this in the best of form. 2 1-0 defeats over Christmas. Is that the reason why it's only 2.3 the favourite for a Getafe side with only 1 defeat since the 27th of September? Suggests that Rayo Vallecano might give a very tight match. You might want to back 0-0 pre-match, preempting a defensive display from Rayo Vallecano. Tend to get out at half-time in that case. Another set of 2 0-0s for Real Sociedad, which is matching Ipswich now. They're unbeaten since the 11th of November. I would take on those 0-0s. 3 draws in the last 4 matches. 6th against 16th. Sociedad are unbeaten against 5th and lower, scoring and conceding in 3 matches against 15th and lower. So sometimes you'll just have to, or hopefully you'll pick up what I mean here. 15th and lower without losing. 7 out of 10 goals conceded at home have come second half. 5 goals conceded in the last 15 minutes. So they are vulnerable second half. Alaves, 3 consecutive defeats, failing to score in the last 4 matches. Not the form you need coming into this. So I would be favouring Sociedad here. But that 0-0 sequence needs to end. Just be a little wary as well. If you're laying the draw second half and it's a 0-0 draw, look at the in-play stats. Are Sociedad knocking on the door to end that 0-0 sequence? Two consecutive 0-0s is quite a long sequence. Valencia Villarreal, we've got bitty form for Valencia. That's not what you need. Only 1 win since the 11th of November. Did come in the last match away. That was a 1-0. They've consistently failed to score that second goal since the 5th of November. They don't concede that second goal either at home, really. Villarreal win sporadically. Only 3 wins since the 24th of September. It's really poor stuff for the Yellow Submarine. 2 defeats in the last 3 away. They're scoring and conceding without winning. They've done so in the last 4 matches, conceded in the last 10 overall. So be slightly favouring Valencia here, but do pay attention to the market, as I say again. 2.15 the favourite. Other matches today, Israeli Liga Ha'al, Hapoel Beersheva certainly bear our respect. Away from home, scoring 3+ goals for fun and conceding first. It's exactly the kind of form you can embrace. 3 goals here, 4 goals at home, 4 goals here, away. Really solid. 4 goals away against Maccabi Petah Tikva, and we've profited on a couple of occasions from this habit of the beer. All hail to the ale. AC Milan, just be a little wary. Napoli couldn't be bothered. Inter Milan couldn't be bothered despite absolutely dominating Bologna. So watch out for AC Milan. Questionable attitude from the big guns in the Coppa Italia. Scottish Premiership. I'll be on hand at 3 o'clock to follow this. It was a profitable last time we played, with Hearts coming from 2-0 down to draw 2-2. You could have made a nice, I think, £93 profit there in the match odds market on that recovery to 2-2 if you cashed out. If you didn't cash out, you'd have made something like a 30 quid profit on the draw. And you could have made something like 130 if Hearts dotted the I's and crossed the T's. Dundee FC favourite, Hibs favourite. I'll be following this purely on the in-play stats today, but paying attention to the market. Both of the big guns are out. Rangers of 1.25, Celtic of 1.25 as well. Celtic have been pretty poor at these odds. I wouldn't be doing a 20-minute rule on Celtic. They've had a couple of 0-0s before half-time at these odds. So just be a little wary. If you're trusting the 20-minute rule, which is anything 1.3 or lower, you're expecting the goals before half-time. So if it's 0-0 after 20 minutes, 1-0, 2-0, any unquoted in the half-time score market. But I would caution you to be very wary with Celtic. But certainly they do score second-half goals. So if the draw is low enough, lay the draw second half. Scottish Championship, we might head off there today. Dundee United strong favourites away from home to Arbroath. Wraith odds on, Partick Thistle odds on at home. They got a good trade last match as well. They did impress me, Partick Thistle. But they're questionable liquidity in the Scottish Championship. So I'll see you at 3 p.m. There's no late coverage tonight, I'm afraid. So West Ham and Brighton, Villarreal, Valencia, you're on your own. I'm not staying up until 3 a.m. for the sake of 2 matches. I'm sure you could cope admirably on your own, but I'll certainly be hoovering up any earlier plays from 3 o'clock onwards to about 6 o'clock. So I hope that will provide us with ample trades. I'll certainly be on hand on Telegram and at the chat feed. So have a great 2nd of January. And we're starting to see the Cup enter the equation as the week progresses now, but we still have the Spanish La Liga, got Italian Serie A coming back. The Greek Super League tomorrow should be interesting. 3 out of 3 or 4 very strong odds on favourites are going to test the 20-minute rule. Liga HL, Coppa Italian. The cup is starting to pervade the coupons. As we get to the weekend, you'll see the English FA Cup. Well, it's already started with Crystal Palace and Everton on the 4th. And Bologna, Genoa, that's Italian Serie A. But then we've got the FA Cup, Tottenham, Fulham and Wolves, Premier League sides playing on the Friday. I don't know their attitude towards the Cup. Even the FA Cup now, teams are starting to treat with a little bit of disdain. Sporting Lisbon, Porto are off on Friday. Turkish Super League, there's no Dutch football yet. Normally we get the Dutch Eerste Divisie on a Friday. Saturday is FA Cup day, so we might not have a live chat. I can't really see it working when we've got questionable attitude towards the Cup. But if they're all on at the same time, we might have some fun. Just do a 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock live chat webinar to capture English League 2, English League 1, who have served us so well over the Christmas period. So we might have a possible live chat on Saturday. And Sunday, likely be a lot quieter. Just with Italian Serie A really the dominant force and more FA Cup matches. Arsenal-Liverpool is a bit of a humdinger. But these two, you would have thought they want to shake the FA Cup off and focus on the title. Greek Super League returns again. So it looks a busy enough Sunday coupon. We'll have to see if it's busy enough for a live chat webinar or two. Certainly one on Saturday. Have a great day today. I'll see you from 3 o'clock onwards, but I won't be staying up for the very, very late matches. There's only a couple of them, but I'll be on hand for the SPL. Hopefully it's as profitable and accommodating as it was the last time it played. Have a great day.